This week we had Gravel Worlds. We had hugs from Craig. Did you get a hug from Craig?
I didn't.
Okay. I got a hug from Craig. Can't wait to see you. Bye. Hey, welcome to This Is Gravel. I am Bobby Thompson. Sitting next to me, as always, is
A really tired guy.
a really tired Neil Taylor. Neil, what have you been up to?
Oh, just this little race up in Lincoln, Nebraska called Gravel Worlds.
I need to introduce you to coffee, don't I?
No, I've had plenty of coffee. Trust me. This is me after 4 cups of coffee already this morning.
So you had Gravel Worlds over the weekend. What'd you think?
This is my second one. And I guess you could say this year was easier because I finished faster.
Yeah.
Than I did last year.
Easier or you were just stronger?
Probably neither. I just was. I didn't sleep in somebody's driveway this year, so I finished faster than I did the year before.
That's an improvement.
I guess.
Yeah.
So it was brutal. It was a tough course, tough day, especially when the heat that I don't think really we were expecting came out in the afternoon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Boy.
Garmin read 97 on my Garmin.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's heat index, but it still read 97 degrees. So.
Yeah, my Wahoo was, I think, showing right around 100 at one point.
Yeah.
So it was warm. Not what I was expecting, especially when you're sitting out there on that nice white crushed gravel, and it's just pounding off of that on you. But it was a good day.
Yeah.
Got to finish.
Good
That's
deal.
what matters ultimately. I'm not out there racing for a podium spot by any means, but man, that was a tough day in the saddle.
Yeah.
How about you, Bobby? What you been up to?
Well, of course, I was there with you. I'll talk about some details of that in a little bit. I'll tell you what I've been doing. Other than that, this weekend was I got a 3rd grader and a new middle schooler getting ready to start. Actually, middle school started today. So what I have been doing is even as tired as I am, waking up every day at 6 a.m. just to get things going in the morning, So,
yeah.
And maybe I'll get back on the bike sometime this week.
Say preschooler and 3rd grader go back tomorrow.
Right.
So.
It's that time of year. Everybody's, all the parents, all of a sudden your summer schedule's over and you're back onto the school schedule. So it was a great weekend. Matt Fowler and crew were out at Gravel Worlds with us, which is always cool to have the whole gang there and everything. And they were working hard out in that heat also, driving around, trying to get as many shots as they can. It was a fast weekend, and I know he put together a highlight reel for us. So I think that we should just jump right straight to the highlight reel.
Sounds good. Let's
Cool.
check it out.
Gravel Guru fans, here are your highlights from Gravel Worlds 2018 in 90 seconds.
All right, it's always cool to see the highlights being out in that all day long. It's always cool to see what how other people were riding, how other people's day went. Matt was telling us while we were watching that at one point to get in front of the leaders, they missed him at mile 60 because the leaders were going so fast, and it took him another 20 miles just to be able to route around them and get back in front of them in time to set back up again. Leaders ended up finishing at just over 20 miles an hour through all those hills and all that climbing.
It's unreal. What, 10,000 plus feet of elevation, probably, give or take,
Right.
and average over 20 miles an hour, over 150 miles. It's unreal. Unreal.
What was your average for the day?
Oh, gosh, I don't really know for sure, but it was probably somewhere in that 11 range, a
Yeah,
happy 11.
I think I saw that.
Yeah.
Actually, I think you were almost 12. I did look at your data. I have to admit, I was scoping you out.
I haven't bothered to look since the race is over. It syncs immediately
Dude,
from the Wahoo to the phone, and I just put it away.
You know, an everyday Joe father, pastor here in town, you knocked out 150 miles on what became a humid and hot day, and you averaged right around 12 miles an hour. That's pretty cool, dude. That's dang proud. So we do have some of those fast people. We have an interview with Colin, Strickland, and Alison Tetrick, the winners and the Gravel World Champions of 2018. Let's see what they have to say.
So Colin defended again this year. What was it like out there?
It was played out very differently this year, and I kind of got on the back foot early with a flat and a long chase, but I had a teammate up the road, which is always a advantage. So we played the numbers game, and I was able to kind of recover enough to take advantage of that, and eventually kind of just keep chopping up the selection smaller and smaller until it was just Matt and I for the final 12 miles, and we played nice till about 3 miles out.
What were your expectations kind of preparing for it this year after winning last year?
I knew I have the legs for it. I didn't have nearly as extensive preparation this year, but I'm coming off kind of crit mania, so really high intensity stuff, and I just did really one long hard ride to kind of test myself out, and felt pretty good at 120 miles, which is as far as I went. So if you're playing if you're surfing wheels, you can kind of stretch out those miles to 120 miles alone. Riding hard is probably equal to 150 with some drafting.
Coming out of mile 128 there, you and Matt weren't in the lead. What was it like closing that gap?
Oh, we weren't too worried because we knew that the guys out there had been out all day. My teammate Michael's in pretty good form right now, and he was cramping, so there's no way those guys were feeling good. They're really strong riders, but it's a really long day. They were out there for probably 120 miles, so we were kind of cutthroat. They weren't really paying attention, so I just hit we blew by them about 10-15 miles an hour faster than they were rolling. So they chased for a bit, but then they gave up pretty quickly.
Fantastic. Anything else you want to add about today?
Oh man, this bike is perfect for this race, I have to say. So that was enjoyable, and yeah, just incredible event. It's my favorite terrain of anything, just these massive rolling hills. It's kind of like a road race on gravel. It's really this. Probably tomorrow after the rain it'll be pretty sloppy, but today it's just ideal conditions for me, really fast, high speed.
So Alison, you defended your title here. How does that make you feel?
Oh, it's really special to come back to Lincoln, Nebraska, and come to Gravel Worlds. Love the sportiest event. They put on an awesome course, everything. I'm not gonna lie, I was a little nervous, so I was a little quiet. And I've been doing a lot of travel and a lot of work this year, so it's been a pretty tumultuous year. So really happy to come back and actually defend a title.
Let's talk about the day out there. Rolled out, still morning, not much wind. Weather was pretty good.
Yeah, it was a beautiful day. Cloud cover coming in and out, nice, cool, but warm enough morning where you're not miserable. And I only started feeling the heat, around a mile 120-ish or so, and I thought, oh man, it's getting hot. But now I think it's even cooling off now, so finished a little cooler.
Talk to me about the day. How was it riding out there? Were you with groups most of the time, by yourself?
Yeah, this course tends to be a little more group friendly. So I was in the front group of men for the first about 100 miles. I think we did 4:47-ish for the first 100. So we weren't not going slow. And, you know, as then the race started transpiring for the front men, I was able to hang with like the second-ish group on the road for a little while till maybe about 8 miles to go. So it was a good day.
Anything else you'd like to add about coming here to Lincoln and defending today?
I heard that there is a sword for an award, and I love this sword so much, and I really, really wanted it, but I didn't post anything yesterday because I was nervous that that might jinx it, so I'm very excited to take home a sword. How I get a sword home is beyond me, but last night at the check-in, I was acting like a little bit like a pirate, so I left some secret presents at the bike shop for Schmitty and the gang there at Cyclist, so I'm just trying to really capture the pirate theme here.
So you're saying we might see photos of a sword on Instagram?
It might be the year of the sword.
Yeah, fair enough. Congratulations, Alison.
Thanks, guys.
Awesome. Thanks, Colin and Alison, for those interviews. Unreal, again, how fast they went, and the fact that both of them repeated from last year, too.
Dude, they got swords.
I know. I really want a sword.
Huh?
Not going to lie. Like, I saw Alison. She had all those Instagram things that she was putting up with her sword. I was like, I want a sword.
I want a sword. I'm going to go buy a sword. I think Walmart has swords.
Let's go.
It might not be the same thing. I could race you to Walmart. Whoever wins buys the swords. Wait, whoever loses buys the swords. Yeah, let's do that.
That means I'm just buying swords. It's all good. Fine with me. I want a sword.
It's all in who you challenge, man.
That's right. But unreal how fast they went. Again, just a great day. You know, we haven't really talked too much about our days up to this point. So, Bobby, tell us a little bit more about your day on the bike there at Gravel Worlds.
I think anybody who's been to Gravel Worlds recently will tell you it was a pretty fast day on the bike. I mean, not take anything away from anybody because there's no way I could average anywhere close to that. But it was a nice day on gravel. The heat, I don't think the heat truly came out until just after noon. Would you agree with that? Maybe around noon or 1 o'clock.
Definitely.
So if you were able to get the gravel going that fast, and we started at 6 a.m., I mean, Colin finished just over 7 hours. So he beat a lot of that heat, and I mean, more power to him. That's how you do it. If you can, the more miles you can knock out before you start getting tired, because of other influences, then the better off you're going to be. I'll tell you, once the heat came out, I was at it was about mile 120-ish where the heat came out for me, and that was around Denton, the town of Denton. Mm-hmm. And that last 30 miles, really, it took a lot out of me. So as good as I felt, I mean, I was snapping pictures, everything. At 103, I was snapping pictures, and I felt good. I just finished, I lined every one of my pockets up with ice. I bought a big bag of ice and filled all my jersey pockets up with ice and filled all the my hydro pack up. The exterior I filled up with ice and just let it run down my back for, a good 10 miles. And I felt really good, but as soon as that heat came up, it was almost like I could actually feel a heat wave coming off of the ground and coming up underneath the saddle. So, it got hot fast.
Yeah, my day, I had a plan going into it. I wanted kind of just to break it into basically the 2 checkpoints. Stop at 58, stop at 128. Because last year, like I say, I slept in people's driveways. Yeah. I stopped at a lot of gas stations.
So you planned on a 70-mile
drive. I was, again, if we were looking at about an 80-degree day, I figured at that point, maybe we're just tipping 80. And so, I can ride through the afternoon at 80 degrees. No problem, I would figure. But I rolled that first checkpoint, no problem. Mile 58, everything felt good. Yeah. On the single speed, it was pretty torturous, especially through some of those Bohemian Alps that they call them up there, northwest of Valparaiso area. Right. Got through that, felt fine. A little bit of climbing out of that checkpoint, both on the paved road and then on the gravel afterwards. Everything was good, but about the time I was at mile 95, things started heating up, and I got to the gas station that was right past mile 100 when you went over Interstate 80.
Absolutely. That's where I stopped for ice too.
Yeah, I stopped there. I wanted ice cream. Went in. There was no ice cream left. And so I really kind of changed my attitude how I was going to address the race at that point. I was hot. I was uncomfortable. I really didn't want to do it anymore, but it was 50 miles. I've already put in 100. Let's just finish. So my attitude became, I'm just stopping to get cold whatever at any point from here forward. So it was cold Gatorade, cold water at that checkpoint or at that oasis. And then, I'd roll up on some folks that were out there on the side of the road. Same thing. Get some new cold water. I'd take a cold bottle, put it inside of my jersey, let it sit here on my chest because I hate being hot like that. I hate it. And I'll tell you what, I mean, those hills on a single speed, I don't know if there's the right gear. I don't even know how those guys that do the single speed and the ladies too that just are out there crushing it.
Yeah.
I don't see how they do it.
How'd you do on nutrition?
Nutrition was, again, great until I got so hot that nothing felt right anymore.
Okay.
I mean, my whole body was
And at that point, it just doesn't matter. It's just trying to show something, yeah.
I wanted cold whatever. Whatever was cold, whatever was available that was cold was what was going to be acceptable for the body. And kind of went on from that point. Cold, a little bit of gummies, little other things like that. I really wanted ice cream and was really upset that Mile 100 gas station was out of it.
That.
So
that was a big deal for
man.
you, the ice cream, the lack of ice cream.
Oh, yeah. There was only push pops left, and I just couldn't take push pops just not for me anymore. Maybe they were the Flintstone ones, maybe,
Right.
but they were not. So Jolly Rancher.
Yeah,
Pops.
you can't, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but it was good. I mean, finished. Can't complain. Had a lot of awesome friendships.
Yeah,
a lot of people that I got to hang out with. Some folks that I got to hang out with at both Land Run and DK. Got to ride with them as well out here at Gravel World. So it's awesome to have those friendships continue to bond and build with each other.
Yeah, that's what these events are about.
Absolutely. So good time.
Good. Well, I tried something a little bit different this time. I always just I had my staple. I had my Scratch Labs chews. I had my couple of Scratch bars. And then I had Scratch in my the water bottles and stuff. And had a little bit of tailwind also. But because I don't always continually eat and things go bad so quickly, one figgy bag was completely full of Fruit Loops and Apple Jacks. And then the other one was completely full of, the little tiny mini Nutter Butters?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's what the other one was. Nutter Butters were awesome. The Fruit Loops and Apple Jacks tasted sweet, except one thing I didn't think about. You know how foggy it was in the morning?
Oh, ugh.
So they got mushy. So I had like mushy Apple Jacks and stuff. But it was pretty cool because at one point I hit a bump really hard and a rainbow of Fruit Loops went up in the air and everyone was just, because I was pulling at that point in time, everyone just started cracking up. It was like, dude, you're Skittles. So they worked well. But the only thing I'll say is they're so lightweight that I would grab and the Fruit Loops would be flying behind me because I couldn't get them all in my mouth at the same time. So that was annoying. You had to do like 2 or 3 at a time instead of like a mouthful like I normally do. So I would do that a little bit differently, but they worked really well. Everything else worked pretty well. The other lifesaver, Malcolm, mile 70-ish or whatever. Buddies of mine, Scotty O'Mara and Sean O'Mara, local legends, turned me on to this trick. Arnold Palmer's, which is a big aluminum can full of half tea, half lemonade. So I bought me a big old Arnold Palmer, put it in the back thing, put a little lemon nutrition in there, and dude, that was the ticket. That got me another probably 10 miles just on that.
Nice.
So yeah, it's like a picnic out on the gravel road. So I didn't get tired until the last 5 miles, and I happened to ride by Matt and crew the last 5 miles, and he was taking the picture, and I think I said something like, "I just got to finish." I couldn't even look up at it. I was so tired, and the last 5 miles, it dawned on me we're going to be flattish, and normally they are not.
Yeah.
Normally the last 5 miles you come in from the north, and it's the big hills. I almost kind of wanted those because the last 5 miles were flat, and I just couldn't make myself go. I just wanted to be done.
Yeah,
I know what's left. I just can we just like fast forward and just give me that time?
There was only a little hill there on First Street coming right back in, but I was going faster up the hills than I was on the flats in those miles right before because
you couldn't it was hard to make yourself go on the flats. Plus your bike sounds so horrible.
Yeah.
The chain is just off the charts at that point in time. So yeah, no, I get it. One other thing before we elaborate too long. Within 2 to 3 hills, I realized that my front derailleur was not going to drop into my lower chainring. So mentally, which is stupid because it probably would have taken me 5 to 10 minutes to get off my bike, get my pack out, get my tools out, fix the thing. I didn't want to do it. So I rode the whole day just in the big ring, which was fine. I never had to walk or anything, but by the end of the day, pushing that big ring up those hills was a little monotonous and tiring. I think that kind of wore me out towards the end too, just because I was done. I couldn't spin up the hills, so tired. But it was a good day, good fun day. I got my hug from Craig at the end. I got my hug from Corey at the end, and I got to wait another year to get those. So that's always a sad day to walk away from. We did get an interview with Corey to lead us out of here. Love the event that you guys put on, and can't wait to be back there again. So let's talk to Corey.
Corey, here at Gravel Worlds today, what has this year been like for you guys so far?
Oh, it's been great. You know, basically it's a big gravel family reunion. Seeing so many people that have been in different races throughout the year, Land Run, Dirty Kansas, you know, all the races to the Midwest. So it's a great year, you know, great way to end the year here in Lincoln, Nebraska. So a lot of smiling faces, a lot of folks who are really working hard to finish today. It was a tough day. So it's been a fantastic race.
As a promoter, what is your favorite part of the day?
For me, seeing people finish that really didn't think they could finish, you know, accomplish something they thought they couldn't do, and then crossing that line and then potentially having like a life-changing moment. So, I mean, to me, every year we see that. So it's really cool to be part of that. And then also this is a sense of community. I mean, everyone just kind of comes together and helps everyone out. You know, the whole entire city of Lincoln pitched in, and you know, we had really good checkpoints and oasis locations, some gravel angels out there, other riders, you know, riding with each other, helping each other to the finish, you know, just with encouragement. So, you know, that's really an awesome part of the event.
What would you say to someone that's never been to Gravel Worlds before, maybe to come next year?
I say give it a shot. You know, it's a tough race, but it's very enjoyable. Beautiful scenery out in the country, a lot of rolling hills. You know, today we had great, you know, fog in the morning, which is kind of a cool little feature. You know, I think it's just a great way to jump into it. If you don't feel like doing the full 150, you always have the Privateer Gravel Grinder, which is 75 miles. So kind of get your feet wet in the gravel racing. So it's a great way to do it.
Anything else you'd like to add about it?
I just want to thank all our sponsors for the sport this year. Obviously, Lauf was our title sponsor. We also had a lot of great sponsorship from, you know, Chamois Butter, Panaracer, Cyclist Lawyer, you know, so many to name. And then all our volunteers were awesome. I want to thank all the participants who came out and rode. You know, we had people coming from all over the country, some international riders coming in. So it was really awesome to be part of this. So I just want to thank everyone for doing that.
Cool. Thanks, Corey. We had a great time, both of us. You going back next year?
Yep, plan on being back.
Going back next year. I might do the 75 so I can hang out with Craig all day. But I will be back next year. We have a lot of events coming up this fall. Just even local area has a lot of events. We have... What do we have? We have Pony Express September 8th. We have the Grassland Grind September 15th. We have the Hondo September 15th. We have Bleeding Kansas September 22nd. What else
we got? October 13th.
We got Laugh the Lakes October 13th. We have Jagger October 27th. We have at least two local disc golf tournaments. We have our favorite, Adam One Take Blake, is getting married on September 29th. Love you, Adam. You don't watch the show anyway. What else do we have? We could have so many shows coming up here. We have the Veterans Day Gravel Grinder on November 4th. Those just off the top of my head, we have all those. So we have the Rush the Rails events. There's a Rush the Rails and Rails to Trails in Ottawa. There's a Rush the Rails in Council Grove, blah, blah. And that's all within an hour and a half driving distance. Yeah. So tell us what you have coming up for your fall. Send me some pictures. I want to know what you ate. What did you eat at Gravel Worlds? Did you eat Fruit Loops? I want to know if they work for you. Is there a better way to do Fruit Loops? Fruit Loops kebabs. That would be kind of cool idea. Just put them on a stick. I don't know. That'd be dangerous. Okay, send me your food ideas. We'll talk to you next week. Love you.